Hi, I'm Manny from Wooden Thumb, and this is going to be my entry to the Wood Jigs 21 challenge hosted by James at Fixit Fingers. I'm coming up with a jig to help square off the ends of my pen blanks after I've glued the brass tubing in. It's important to square these off nice and straight for when you assemble the kit. The barrel and the tube need to line up so that the pen and the kit all go together nice and square. Alright, let's see what we can do.
So here I'm just setting up some sandpaper because I don't have a table saw or a thicknesser. I'm just setting up some sandpaper to sand that down to fit into the little groove there for my disc sander, so I can set up a miter sled sort of jig, making a jig for a jig to start. Now I'm just making the base to attach to that slider and cutting it with my circ saw there. Using one of James at Fixit Fingers straight cut jigs for the circ saw. So using a jig to make a jig that fits. And I'm just screwing some pilot holes for the slider to attach to that bed, positioning it and doing the old super glue and accelerator trick. And I've got some super glue on my hands. So super glue, accelerator, press it on for a sec. Make sure everything's square, check square. And just screwing it in with some screws to hold it tight. Lovely. Perfect. So now I'm just positioning where that 90-degree fence will go, using some cheap L brackets that I had lying around. I screwed it together. And now I'm making the mitered part for the rod where the pen blank will spin on. So I had to cut first a 45, and then I cut straight to get my one piece with a 45-degree angle, cut it into two pieces to be glued together to get that 90-degree angle for the aluminium rod. The old glue trick again. And that glue was more than enough, didn't need to screw that together. So there it is there with the aluminium angle in it, which I glued in as well. And the aluminium rod will fit in there. So there it is. I just got to screw some bits together to make the fence and the guards. And that can slide with the threaded insert. I can place my bolt in there to tight. Okay, so that's what I've got so far. The mounting jig for the rod that will fit into the barrels. The only issue is I've put my threaded insert in, had a wing nut. I did not account for the length of the wing nut and the material I was using, and it doesn't reach my rod. So either hopefully got to get out sometime during lockdown to get a new wing nut, or find a way to extend this nut. Let's have a look. All right, so this wing nut too short. This one, not a wing nut, but long enough to clamp down on the owl rod, which will have the pen blank on it, already tubed up, ready to square off on the disc sander. Okay, and just I've waxed up the rod so it should spin quite easily around. Okay, so put that in there. Screw that down. The screw on tight first, and that extra nut's just to hold it in place. Get it touching on. So this is quite firm, so I don't really need to bolt that in. I could probably put a wing nut in there, but probably not necessary. And here we go, first crack at it. Okay, you probably can't tell, but that's pretty damn square. Okay, flip around. The other side's got a bit more meat on it to take off. So I might line that up there. Slip it back in. Tighten. Slide the jig up. Everything's at 90. Let's go. Getting there. This is purple heart. It's quite a hard wood, so it's going to take a bit to sand it off. Alright, well there it is. Square blanks, ready to put on the mandrel on the lathe to turn into a pen. Fairly quick and easy jig to make. You're just using a bunch of old MDF laminate. What I had to do is get some aluminium pipe tube, some aluminium angle to give me the nice 45 degree, or not right angle, and I bought a bolt just to clamp down on the rod so that doesn't slide at all. I'm just purely sliding the blank around the rod, okay, and twisting it so I'm not burning out the disc. This is going to help me square up these blanks a lot quicker than eyeing them off. I didn't have a miter gauge on this to begin with, so I was doing it by eye, but now I've got this, I can set it up, just chuck it straight on. So happy with how it's turned out. Probably some improvements to be made, but pretty quick and easy jig to square off those pen blanks. Thanks again to James from Fixit Fingers for hosting this challenge. I'll leave a link to the whole playlist and his account in the description below if you want to have a look at some of the other jigs that other people have submitted.